I mean, this one beside me started in, when was it? When did we get engaged? This is testing me now. We've just had, I think it was probably 3 summers ago. I think it started 3 summers ago as an idea by the van, and then we took it on to my sister's place, and she's doing up a house in France, and it had this kind of, it was pretty bare bones, and it had this really open cellar, which is the world's best reverb chamber, I swear, that I've ever come across. So I just used to go and sit down in the entrance, and it was just this really long kind of sort of semicircular archway type building all the way down, and it really, the reverb really lent itself for the to the song in terms of its kind of choir-like cinematic thing. So I kept on playing it there. I can't remember your original question. I just got lost in how good that reverb was.
I almost don't remember it either.
Sorry, it's been a long day. I've been painting and sanding all day, so I've come home in the work gear. So excuse the shabbiness.
I really like Beside Me. I should just get that out of the way. I think It's awesome. When you're writing a song, like what's the process? Like, where do you start? Do you start with words and lyrics, or do you start with just a couple of chords or melody, or what's your process?
Anything I can get away with, William, to be honest. It sort of feels, I feel like a hitter and a hoper. You know, I know I don't have a solid musical theory underpinning. I'm still approaching the guitar like I've never really, I play in weird tunings, so I never know what notes I'm playing or what chords I'm playing. Usually it starts with the guitar, to be honest, like especially Beside Me. I have a couple of finger picking patterns that I always return to, and I find like a new chord, just moving my fingers around until something sounds nice, and it's cool that way, because it's always like, oh, cool. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's good. I like it, and it gives me excitement. So yeah, that was how this started. I was in France. I just got engaged to my wife, and we'd gone on holiday in France, and I just sort of sat at the back of our van that we were traveling around in, and we were pulled up next to this beautiful river in France, and I just wrote this little 2-chord thing, which is the verse theme for Beside Me, and that's that. I guess that's the most common, really, is a little guitar loop that I'll play over and over again, and then eventually sort of lyrics will come to sit with it.
I guess within that genre, it always feels very personal and intimate. And now you said that you wrote this song, you know, getting engaged basically at the same time. So what's it like to bring in other musicians into that little world? You do something so private, and then when you go record with like the Musiversal musicians, you're also inviting them into that space. Did you think about that? Is that like a strange thing to do, or is it just what the song needs?
It's a lot of those things. It is odd. It's difficult. I find it because I've worked on my own in my room since I was 15, making music. It's always been very a controlled environment for me. So now making more sort of acoustic music, or music that kind of fits in a band context, I've sort of been forced to work with other musicians in a way. That's how it felt at the start, but it's actually a massive blessing, and I'm really grateful to but at first local people where I live wanting to get in touch and make music together, and realizing that it can just take it to a completely another dimension, especially given the lack of musical knowledge in a kind of traditional learned sense that I have. So come together with other musicians. So that the kind of allowing that in was first happened locally, and then broadening it with Musiversal was just a game changer. So that just leveled things up again, because, you know, the quality of the musicians is just mind blowing. Like to sort of be on call, just to hear it, and then to go with it and have that musical dexterity was really impressive. So yeah, it felt pretty natural, actually. It felt really good, especially living where I live. There are lots of local musicians, but I'm not super involved in local music scenes. I'm not I don't know. I tend to, my world is quite small. I tend to stick to like me and my wife and my home. I'm quite a homebody. So to have access to really high quality musicians. I mean, I've worked with some great people locally, but to have access to like a whole range online and from the comfort of my studio has been really, really refreshing, actually. Yeah, really refreshing.
When you worked on Beside Me, or like when you sort of had a more or less finished product and you decided to move on to add more instruments to it, did you know what you wanted? Like, could you hear it in your head what you wanted? Or did you like browse through the website and be like, oh, a violin would be cool, or I need some shakes here? Or did you have it, you know already what you wanted?
I had a pretty good idea of the instruments I wanted, generally speaking. I knew strings would be involved. I knew there'd be some cello. I knew there'd be some violin, hopefully. And I didn't know anyone locally who played violin, so at the time. So yeah, I had a pretty good idea that strings were involved and drums were needed. And I tried a few other things that didn't make it onto the record because it was nice to do other stuff with other musicians. And that was like a list, looking down the list and going, okay, so that's possible. Let's try some of that on it, you know, and to have those resources there was great because I wouldn't necessarily have booked in all these other instruments that I didn't end up using if I was local and having to kind of cost that out and pay for that and set that session up and do this and do that on a whim that it might fit, you know, because those kind of off the cuff little moments are often the gold, you know. Some of them didn't work on this thing, but also some of them really did. And yeah, so I'd say I had a pretty good idea, but also having the flexibility and range of musicians on Musiversal allowed me to kind of broaden that even further. So
you didn't do any, did you do sessions from France as well, or was everything done at home?
Yeah, everything was done at home. I wrote the song, tweaked it a little bit. We also that was it. Yeah, sorry, I forgot a key part of this record was this song was we were in France. We were driving down to meet up with not just my sister who lives there, but Lizzie, my wife's brother, also lives in France. And so we were going down to stay with him. And so by the time we got to him, I was looping around this one guitar idea. It had got a bit more developed, but he's actually a music producer himself, and he's got a big studio out in France. And he was busy working quite a bit at the time, but he also kind of passed through when I was playing, and he was like, "Oh, what's that?" And then just suddenly sort of caught hold of the idea and just went, "You need something there that goes there, and you need something to do this and do that, and get rid of that bit. It's crap. Try adding that." And it was like, for someone who's just sort of plugged away on his own for so long, not really knowing what's right and what's not, it was like a massive deal for me having someone who knows what they're talking about, just to go boom, 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 do this, do that, don't do that. It was like, oh wow, a bit of direction, and so he definitely sort of deserves a co-writing credit on this one. And then he later actually mixed it for me after I got all of the Musiversal bits and other stuff recorded properly in my end. And it was really nice actually, because my wife had a really strong connection with the song, even when it was just a little guitar part. I think it was the day after I wrote the little guitar part, she was like, "Oh, that's gorgeous. Like, it's really lovely." And she really connected with it. And then as the guitar part grew a little bit, a couple of days later, we were sat by a lake and I was just playing it, and she started to well up, and she was like, "I don't know why it makes me so teary, but just something about this guitar. I just love it." And so then when her brother sort of contributed to it, and then it kind of came back a bit more fully formed, it sort of felt natural to write lyrics around her and sort of in celebration of her, really, and her journey. So she had a kind of strong connection to the guitar melodies. She even had quite strong ideas of like that there should be strings to it as well, which was really nice. She was really hearing that strongly, and so those things kind of came together, and then lyrically it ended up being a kind of song about her as well. So it was nice that it had that direction, you know.
the idea that you do write something personal and you do have the courage to go to other people and record with them and share everything with them, and especially when you're, I don't know, you don't know how to, you don't have the musical knowledge, and that maybe that can scare some people off from choosing a service like this. But in reality, like, it's for everyone. Like, it's more than just, you know, a subscription and you get something. We want people to be involved and get something real out of it. And it seems like, not to put words in your mouth, but it seems like you got something real out of it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Have a good day.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.